Psychology says that if you are the type of person who sees human nature with a piercing level of clarity, your experience of life is fundamentally different from that of the people around you. You might often find yourself observing the world from a distance, feeling as though you were witnessing a series of performances rather than genuine interactions. This deep perception is frequently misunderstood. You may have been labeled as cold, detached, or even antisocial, but the truth is that your brain works in a way that prioritizes depth, authenticity, and psychological safety. If you have gone long periods feeling like an outsider, or if you find yourself retreating from the noise of the world, there are real, research-based reasons behind your experience. It does not mean you are broken, a failure, or mentally unstable. Instead, it suggests that your mind operates with a level of awareness, sensitivity, and intuition that acts as a sophisticated filter for the reality of the human condition. One of the primary ways this clarity manifests is through a zero tolerance for inauthentic behavior. When you see human nature clearly, you can no longer stand being around fake personalities, people who wear masks, engage in gossip, or use manipulation to navigate their social lives. Research indicates that as self-awareness grows, the tolerance for such performative behavior drops dramatically. You would rather be completely alone than sit through shallow conversations with someone who is performing a role instead of being real. While most social circles are comprised of people who smile to your face while harboring hidden motives, your brain is wired to pick up on these lies and manipulations instantly. You keep your circle small not because you dislike people, but because you are actively protecting your internal peace. This is a sign of high standards, not a lack of social ability. This preference for silence and solitude is often driven by a psychological need for depth over quantity. Individuals who see the world clearly aren't avoiding relationships, they are avoiding surface-level connections that feel empty or draining. You likely cannot stand small talk, the repetitive conversations about the weather or mundane events where nobody is actually listening. If a topic has no substance or intellectual weight, you find it difficult to engage. You crave discussions about ideas, psychology, and what makes life meaningful. Because this level of connection is rare, you choose to stay alone until you find something that feels real. This selectivity is a hallmark of deeper thinking patterns and a refusal to force connections that do not resonate with your core identity. There is also a biological component to why life feels different for you. Psychology suggests that some individuals possess a more sensitive nervous system, a trait known as high social sensitivity. While extroverts gain energy from being around others, every conversation costs you something because your brain processes information more deeply. You are constantly picking up on emotional cues, analyzing interactions on multiple levels, and filtering through the subtext of what is being said. Because your brain burns more energy during these social contacts, you require significantly more recovery time. This doesn't mean you dislike people. It simply means that for you, social energy is a limited resource that must be conserved. After socializing, you need complete solitude to recharge and find your equilibrium again. This clarity and independence often stem from what researchers call low social dependency. You do not rely on external validation or social proof to feel significant. You have the ability to entertain yourself, solve your own problems, and find comfort within your own mind. While many people need a constant circle of acquaintances to feel valued, you create your own world. This independence can make you seem distant to others, but it is actually a profound strength. You don't need the annual reminders of significance that social rituals provide, such as elaborate birthday celebrations. If you treat your birthday like any other Tuesday, it is likely because you have an internal locus of identity. You don't need society to acknowledge you to know that you exist and have worth. You see time as continuous and personal growth as a gradual evolution rather than something marked by arbitrary milestones. In some cases, seeing human nature clearly is a protective strategy developed from past experiences. If you have faced betrayal, emotional neglect, or inconsistent caregiving, your brain becomes naturally more protective and selective. This creates a trust threshold, a higher bar that people must clear before you allow them into your life. You observe people longer and analyze their behavior more deeply before offering your trust. If you grew up without consistent emotional warmth, your nervous system may have become hypervigilant, constantly scanning for signs of abandonment or withdrawal. While this can be exhausting, it is a survival mechanism that allowed you to navigate unpredictable environments. Recognizing these patterns is the first step toward healing attachment wounds and understanding that having needs does not make you a burden. Furthermore, your high-functioning cognitive system may cause you to process life through verbal output. If you catch yourself talking out loud when you are alone, it is not a sign of instability. It is a sign that your mind works at a velocity that requires verbalization to stay organized. Vocalizing a thought makes it tangible, allowing you to examine it objectively rather than letting it remain as abstract fog in your head. You use your voice to give structure to your ideas and to coach yourself through stress. By using distanced self-talk, addressing yourself in the second or third person, you create psychological distance from your anxiety and regulate your own nervous system. This ability to be your own motivator and critic signals a high level of emotional intelligence and focus. Ultimately, if you see human nature clearly, it means you are carrying forward capabilities that are becoming rare in a world obsessed with instant gratification and surface-level stimulation. Your comfort with silence, your high standards, and your ability to generate purpose from within are not defects. They are signs of a mind that is both civilized and feral, one that is capable of deep critical thinking and unsupervised autonomy. You are not outdated or weird. You are simply operating on a higher level of awareness and self-regulation. Your mind is a high-performance engine that requires substance over noise and authenticity over performance. Sometimes the people with the strongest minds are the ones who walk alone for a while as they seek out connections that truly matter. Recognizing these patterns in yourself is the key to replacing self-doubt with self-respect. You have a richer inner world and a sharper intuition than most, and that's something to be honored. If you value this kind of research-based insight that validates your true personality, I invite you to join our community of deep thinkers. Would you like me to explore the specific psychological reasons why people with a high trust threshold actually make the most loyal friends?